Welcome to the Scoop Zone, where our panel discusses the most recent entertainment scoops from Mikey Sutton's Geekosity.com. And now, your hosts, Keith and Gary. Right, I'm all done here.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Scoop Zone with our amazing group of analysts and an asshole. And we are going to talk about some Geekosity news this week on Scoop Zone. Imagine that, because that's what the show's all about. We're going to talk about Mikey Sutton's Geekosity. Let's shock everybody and talk about somebody else. No, because the other guy won't even say his name. Or the other person. There's two people that do this shit that don't do it anywhere near as well as Mikey Sutton, and we'll never say their fucking names on this show. So we've got Arwen Avalon, Sil Abdul, for some reason, Inc. Sil Abdul, Inc. And 24/7 Fusion Media.
What's up?
And that guy, Keith.
My man.
I need him to find a channel. That's why.
And we're going to talk about the latest scoops, news, and rumors over on Geekosity, either written by and or just covered by Mikey Sutton. So let's start the show. Huh? Let's get this shit going. There we are. First off the bat, we got to talk about J.J. Abrams. I know, everybody, I hope you brought your vomit bags. So, Matt Ryan won't be in J.J. Abrams' new Constantine show. What? No way. There's no way J.J. wants to just simply unwrite anything that everybody fucking loved. No way. No way. This, of course, is written by our good friend Kieran Bug and Mikey Sutton, who's also a good friend. J.J. Abrams moves forward with his Constantine TV series without Matt Ryan, or, for some reason, they mentioned Keanu Reeves. Fans hope for either actor to return as Constantine. That is definitely not the case. Abrams wants his own version, of Constantine. Yeah, this is that whole thing that we talk about, that he's not going to be happy until he shits in every fucking IP.
Yeah.
Puts his garbage in every IP and destroys something beloved from every IP.
There's literally no reason for this iteration.
No, there's no reason for it other than him wanting to get money. Once again, J.J. Abrams considers everything he does successful because he got paid.
Yep.
Just like Alex Kurtzman, Chris Chibnall, Kathleen Kennedy, and Greg Berlanti. As long as they get paid, their properties are a success. Doesn't matter that nobody wants it.
Yeah, supposedly he got like some extra funding because he's trying to do some diversity, which is, another bullshit
fake diversity.
To do this. Yeah.
Yes. Thank God there's a white guy out there doing good things for people of different colors, right?
Right?
That's all I'm going to do on my shows. Oh, wait, my show is mostly black, so I don't know what to say about that.
Yeah, you can't really talk, Gary.
I've got no room to talk. Oh, shit. I fucked up. You guys are fired. No.
You got all women and different nationalities.
How did this happen? I don't know. DC Comics occult anti-hero casting details for Constantine have spilled online. They confirm earlier rumors of Abrams' changes. Outside of the Justice League, there are only a handful of heroes from DC's library who became instant fan favorites. One of them is the charismatic British warlock John Constantine. It was one of my favorite comics back in the 80s, dude.
Yep.
After making his debut in the Saga of Swamp Thing, number 37 and 85, Constantine later starred in his own spin-off comic book. In addition, he has also appeared on his own movie and TV series played by Reeves and Matt Ryan, respectively. Despite his first solo TV outing only lasting just one season, Constantine left a lasting impression on viewers and fans, more importantly. So much so that the character was able to live on in the CW's Arrowverse following the show's cancellation, as well as in the animated films. And I love his work in the animated films, except for that one where he was a bottom to King Shark. That was dumb.
King Shark is a shark.
Constantine viewers even began campaigning for the CW to renew the series for a second. Yeah, it's like right off the bat, they do these other shows, and they have a show that's guaranteed to have an audience, and they don't want to do it. Anyway, sadly, just like DC Universe's Swamp Thing, this never happened. Instead, the character became a series regular on the later seasons of CW's Legends of Tomorrow, which was terrible. Nevertheless, the CW hired back Matt Ryan for the role. Matt Ryan was a smash, period. Fans fucking love this guy. I include myself. Unlike Reeves, he looked and sounded like the character from the comics. Well, he's English for a start. But many hoped to see Constantine in his own solo series once again. Alas, it never happened. Abrams further crushed those hopes. The partnership between Abrams' Bad Robot and Warner Brothers gave birth to a new Constantine. The new HBO Max series has no connection to the streamers other than DC programs such as Greg Berlanti's Doom Patrol. Moreover, it has nothing to do with the Arrowverse. After all, there's no Matt Ryan. It's an Abrams reboot. Certain details regarding Constantine managed to find their way online via the Illuminati. The working title is Constantine is Chimney. This just sounds horrible. This is undoubtedly a nod to the fact that Constantine has a fondness for cigarettes and smokes like a chimney. In other words, it'll probably stink. Yeah, because they're going to focus on that thing.
Isn't the name of the brand of cigarettes Chimney also?
I don't recall, to tell you the truth.
I could have sworn that was the name of the brand of cigarettes.
Well, if somebody has Google, they could look it up while I'm reading this.
I'll do that.
I mean, we had to talk about that before.
They continue. Let's be frank here.
Oh, wow.
Abrams' work on Star Wars and Star Trek polarized followers to both franchises. Followers, you mean fans. Furthermore, that means the built-in audience. Furthermore, they also reported that principal photography will likely commence later this year and eventually finish up in February 2023. Once again, this falls under the thing that Mikey has also said previously, that anything that's been greenlit but isn't already in production is likely not to happen once the Red Wedding is finished.
Ooh.
So I still have my doubts that he's ever going to make a fucking thing. With the CW's future in the air, kiss Matt Ryan goodbye. Then again, the CW switched Matt Ryan's character to Gwen Davies in Legends of Tomorrow. Sources claim that was an Abrams demand. Of course it was. I like the way that they said that. Bad Robot is seeking a BIPOC actor to portray Constantine. This is once again, this is so fucking racist.
Black Tupac actor. What?
Person of color. Yeah.
Bullshit. Person of color.
Bullshit.
Regardless of who they select, this will no doubt cause disappointment, as many consider Matt Ryan to be a definitive portrayal of Constantine. And on top of that, I'll tell you somebody else is going to be feeling disappointment is Warner Brothers, when nobody fucking buys it. If it's going to be a movie, nobody goes to see it. If it's a TV series, hardly anybody's going to watch it.
I don't think they're going to make it.
If you think that Flash's viewership of only 500K is bad.
That is bad. That's really bad.
Yeah, if you can't get over 1 million people to watch your fucking show, you're in trouble. You're doing a bad job. And the same thing goes for this. I'm telling you, it won't get any viewership. It's going to fail.
If it's made again, I think it's not in no set production date yet. It's just like speculation when they'll shoot, just like the J.J. Abrams race swap Superman. That may not go into production as well as J.J. Abrams as well. So they're not totally 100% if that's going to even happen. So we'll see.
We'll see. Yeah, I have my doubts. 24, your thoughts?
What about Michael B. Jordan's?
Oh, that's going to happen.
I'm hoping that's still going to happen.
That's Valzad.
They have not started production on it. I think that's something that fans want to see.
Yeah, he got the writers from Creed 2, which was an okay film, but for Valzad, I think that's going to go through because that's based from the comics, and people like that.
Okay.
Arwen, any thoughts?
Just once again, because I was just talking about this with someone the other day. I see it. My brain is broken when I think about this. What I don't understand is they have something that works. They have something that's been laid out. They could take a story and keep the integrity of the story and keep the actors that have already established it and make it work and still give it, their own vision without having to start from scratch or ruin it.
What you're saying is, once again, you've already got a following. You've got a fan base.
Yeah.
Why are you trying to fix a wheel that's not broken?
It goes from, okay,
you look like you want to say something, 24.
I'll wait till she's done.
Okay.
It's just what I was going to say is, okay, if a director does that one time, you think, okay, maybe they just, they tried a little too hard, or was it a second time? You start going, Third time it happens, it's like it's all intentional, and they have no intention of keeping the integrity of a story or a performer who's already established a character. They just don't give a shit.
It's about whose interest it is fulfilling.
Yeah.
Is it fulfilling the fans' interest, or is it fulfilling the interest of the people making it?
Yeah.
Right.
No one's calling for this, right? No one's clamoring for
this.
It's
just arrogance at this point. It's just
and anybody who is of such a minority that they shouldn't be listened to.
Yeah, they won't be able to carry the viewership for this.
Exactly. Now, 24, you really look like you wanted to say something.
No, it was it was one of those things that if anybody really cared about the best iteration of John Constantine that we've seen, and know that as the character and as the actor it can work. I kind of I agree with Arwen. I was gonna say, like, they can come with they can come with new stories using that actor and basically building off of what's already been done for that first season that he had of his own show, everything that he did in Legends of Tomorrow, and now you're bringing him in, but into this whatever the fuck they're trying to do with DC now, with these new with these new series. But the thing is to switch them around and race swap them.
Yeah,
it's kind of like it's kind of like you find out that He-Man's dad was black now with dreadlocks. It's like, the fuck out of here! Like, what are we doing with this? What?
Keith, your thoughts, man?
There is a reason why the people that have been fired up to this point had to go. There's a reason why they had to go.
Yeah.
Established.
Matt Ryan's Constantine television series was about as close as we were ever going to get to the comic book come to life.
Yep.
And if it hadn't have been for the fact that NBC woke up one day in the middle of the show's run going, well, this isn't exactly family friendly. Really? Didn't you guys read the comic before you went ahead and greenlit the show?
Yeah. What do you think that comic was about?
And for all of the teasing,
what was the name of that comic? It wasn't called Constantine.
It was called Hellblazer.
Yeah.
And I just think for all the teasing and stuff that they set up on that show, that they never... That's the only thing about Legends of Tomorrow. It didn't pay off any of the stuff that the Constantine series left hanging.
Well, Berlanti is directly involved with the writing of that show.
Yeah, so. It was a different show. It was really a different show, a different production company than the one that made the series. And so Constantine was a different character on Legends of Tomorrow. He might as well just been a whole different character on a whole other show, because the Constantine series, he's not interested in being funny. This is a guy that's like haunted.
No, he's sardonic. He's
like
a sardonic character.
Jay Constantine.
Yeah,
that's pretty much what you had on Legends of Tomorrow. They did
disparagement to Keanu Reeves, by the way. As much as I enjoyed that film, he was not Constantine.
And that was given to us by the people that were a part of the X-Men films that actually thought that what they were doing was better than what the comics had.
Oh.
Yeah. First mistake when you have, as that See You Next Tuesday said on Picard, when you have that kind of fucking hubris that you think you can make a better character than the comic.
Yeah, that's clearly where the X-Men and a lot of other projects go off track. Is when you got somebody that works in Hollywood that is not a fan of the source material thinking, I think we can do this better. I think we can improve upon
it. Speaking of hubris, Warner Brothers Discovery plans to replace DC Films president Walter Hamada. This, of course, was written by our good friend Mikey Sutton. Warner Bros. Discovery CEO David Zaslav is looking to replace DC Films president Walter Hamada. What? No way.
Wow, out of nowhere.
Zaslav's plan to restructure DC Entertainment. What? No way.
Let me work on my shock face.
I'm so blown away by this. This is unbelievable. No way.
Any help?
Variety broke DC Entertainment's overhaul yesterday. They reported, quote, David Zaslav, the CEO of the combined companies and top leadership, have been toying with the idea of turning DC into its own solidified content vertical. Didn't that already happen once?
They tried.
Yeah. I think it should have never fucking changed. But AT&T was coming in and needed to let Warner Brothers know they weren't fucking around and canceled their new show that was on that DC platform, the Swamp Thing series, causing it to suck at the end because it was good all the way up until episode 7, and then it just tanked.
It fell off the rails, yeah.
Yeah, well, because they took all the combined episodes and tried to squeeze it all into those last 3 episodes, and it failed miserably.
Oh, shit.
And if this sounds familiar, I've already scooped it back in February on Sil Abdul's YouTube channel.
Wow, shocked.
Sil Abdul, don't we know him?
So shocked at hearing this.
Yeah. You can watch it here for free. But you know what? I'm not going to promote you, Sil. So fuck you.
Click those ads, too, those advertisements.
Click those ads, motherfucker. Click them. And at the time,
just play. Let them ads play.
At the time, insiders revealed Zaslav considered renaming it DC Studios. It's very smart. At the time, insiders revealed. I mean, once again, I don't want to, beat a dead horse here, but some idiot at Warner decided to name the Warner Archives, the entire Warner library, one of the largest film archives in the world, as HBO Max.
Oh, that's ridiculous. Yeah.
Dumbest fucking thing ever. Yeah. They need to rebrand everything. HBO Max should stay with new stuff, but they need an actual Warner Brothers archive, the way TMC has theirs, Anyway, at the time, insiders revealed that Zaslav considered renaming the DC studio. Zaslav may or may not keep that name, but the idea is the same. Whatever it's called, it would consolidate Warner Brothers Discovery's various DC properties, such as film, TV, and original comic books.
That's exciting.
Yes, because that's what they were doing previously.
Give comics some love and some budget.
I loved having that account at DC because I was able to watch the shows, certain movies, but I had access to classic comic books too in their archive.
But they need money to pay these writers, the real writers and real artists, to make good comics, and they had nothing. Now it's a chance. Now.
Well, there's no question that there's been damage to both Marvel and DC brands. It's damaged.
Yeah.
It's not like, it's a little scarring. We can buff that shit out. No. It's fucking in the engine. It's in the drivetrain. It's fucked, and shit has to be removed, replaced, and fixed. And then, of course, the surface needs to be buffed out and cleaned. Maybe some Bondo. I don't know.
After all that shit.
I don't know why I'm talking cars. I'm not even big into working on cars, but I have, so therefore. I knew the analogies, so there you go.
Yeah.
Shit, man, use some Bondo and buff that shit out. How many redneck friends of mine said that? On June 1st, 2021, we leaked that DC Films under Discovery would resemble Marvel Studios. Geekosity staff writer Edwin Francisco wrote, quote, Zaslav is already looking into how to improve the DC films by restructuring it similar to Marvel Studios. To clarify, structurally, not stylistically. Basically, DC films might have a central figure. I don't think that's smart. I think they need to have a team. in charge of their movie and TV properties. This will be their version of huge mistake here. This will be their version of Marvel's unicorn, Kevin Feige.
Point on that, Gary. Point on that real quick before you go past that. That's true. They do want a figurehead, a Feige head, but they do want a committee as well. Working.
You shouldn't have a committee. You should have a team.
What
like 3 people.
My God, committee team, whatever. Like, it's a head person with other people working with them. That's what they want to do. And I think the key point is stylistically. Last summer, Mikey was saying this, that Zaza don't want to, bubblegum this shit. He's like, no, I want the structure of Marvel, but not the bullshit, right? So
exactly, because you need to have one person in charge, but they need to have other people that work with them to make sure that they stay on track.
A team.
Now, likewise, Variety added, before the merger closed, Zaslav vetted candidates with experience in creating and nurturing blockbuster intellectual property with a goal of potentially finding someone to serve as a creative and strategic czar, similar to what Marvel has in Kevin Feige. And I do like the word czar, because czars really have no authority, but they have, what's the word I'm looking for, where you have the ability to throw things on the table and be looked at. And they're also, czars are easier to replace if they become problematic than somebody that's been contracted into a specific job. Like we've seen with Alex Kurtzman, who couldn't be removed by Shari Redstone. And what's the most recent one? Toby Emmerich, who's we're going to be stuck with that cocksucker for 4 more years. Oh my God! Did I let it be known I don't like him? Oh, I'm sorry. If I offended anybody, I don't care. I don't care.
I don't care if y'all.
I don't care.
Toby Emmerich.
On April 6th, I stated that Walter Hamada's days, and of course this is Mikey saying this, that Walter Hamada's days as DC Films president are numbered. An insider revealed then, quote, Hamada won't stick around one way or another. There was gossip of Zaslav either removing DC Films or transforming it into DC Studios. That would consolidate everything in the DC banner. Hamada isn't expected to continue with either decision. And of course, his last hope was that the Batman would be a hit.
We'll save his job, right?
He would get his opportunity to stay in there, like what's her name from Sony got, that
Pascal.
was Spider-Man.
Amy Pascal.
Yeah, but
Amy Pascal.
And that's the thing there. It's like with Hamada, the fact that Zaslav is publicly looking for this czar, that's showing you that Hamada is done, right?
Yeah.
He's head of DC Films. Zaslav is openly petitioning people to come in. Hamada's done. It's very clear.
It's done. Yeah. I mean, he was going to head out the door. What he was hoping was that he would get that one hit that would allow him to keep coming back and keep his name in a brand as part of the brand, and it failed. And as much as I wanted that film to succeed, I also secretly wanted it to fail just for this reason. I was very torn. I was very torn over the film.
Hey, it made just enough money and it made do good on streaming, but it didn't save him.
Yeah, it needed to go over $1 billion. It needed to hit that $1 billion mark for
Aquaman hit $1 billion.
There you go.
Yeah, it just didn't do it. So
Batman can't beat Aquaman. Then
Batman can't make $1 billion.
Yeah, I know, right?
Not this version.
And worse is the underhanded deals that were done, including AMC theaters, who raised their ticket prices to try to boost this.
So that's at least $100 million. If you take $100 million off of what it's currently made, that should pretty much show you exactly where it technically actually is, minus the deal they did with AMC.
Well, one of our friends, I can't remember who said it, said that more tickets were sold for The Sound of Music than for the Batman.
I can believe that. I can believe that.
The difference on the ticket price?
Well, AMC is the only one I know of, but I was told that there are other theaters that did that. And if you go in 24/7, I was told, and I think it might be Script Doctor that told me this,
right.
that if you went in and deducted that percentage increase from the number of ticket sales, it would look a lot worse.
And AMC is the largest chain domestically too, so keep that in mind. That premium price.
And I'm no longer banning AMC for myself, because once China was out of the deal with them, I supported AMC again, and I love AMC as a theater. I really do. But Alamo is my favorite place to go. And if you guys don't have an Alamo near you, it's worth the drive to find one. Great theater, great food.
I do IMAX.
Although I do have Gary, I do have a question about that though, and I don't know about numbers in that regard. But is that really a fair assessment? I mean, The Sound of Music came out when, in the 60s?
Yeah, and there were a lot less moviegoers.
The internet. Yeah, and well, I mean, to a degree, but now
not to a degree. There were a lot less moviegoers.
Yeah, but hear me out though. Now we have the internet. You have people, watching it on maybe not so legal purposes. You have people saying, "I'm going to wait. I don't have 30 friggin' bucks to go to the theater anymore."
Mm-hmm.
And
it's way too
I'm
expensive.
just going to wait till it comes out on DVD. So there is a discrepancy as far as not everyone is going to the theater who would see it.
It's not a valid excuse anymore in the age of Spider-Man No Way Home. It proved the theory that if you make a film worth seeing, people will go see it.
People will show up. Right?
Yeah. So in this situation, it was not the film fans wanted.
It wasn't. It sucked ass.
Fans.
It did.
And that definitely curtailed.
It was not Batman. It was vengeance.
Let me at least also add this in. When Gary said, when Gary was talking about comparing it, he wasn't comparing it to the 60s film. He was comparing it to Steven Spielberg's recent version.
Oh, no, you're talking about that. Sound of Music is what I'm talking about.
Oh, Sound of Music. Okay.
Yeah.
Less people went to see that than the original film, too.
True.
But that's because it was an unnecessary remake, and nobody that was a fan of the original film wanted to go see it. I didn't want to go see it.
The Batman could have been great, but it had a lot of inherent problems, and I still think it just needed another script pass or 3.
Well, this also falls under the thing of I, for one, am sick to death of the excessive Hollywood moralizing that they do, where they feel that they are the speakers for any ethnic group, and they're not. They are not. I am friends with a lot of Hispanics who hated that fucking movie because they felt it was insulting to the actual Hispanics of that period, that it disregarded the hard work that they actually were involved with and made it look like only jobs they had were menial jobs. And that's not true. They're owners of many businesses in New York. And the film just, when you can't even get the crowd that you're trying to lift up to come watch your film, you're in trouble. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And there was another film, because Paulie talked about it, I forget the name of it, his friend, that was a better film made by the guy,
Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Yeah, Lin-Manuel's movie. His film, Tank.
In the Heights.
Yeah, but, as Paulie said, this is a far superior film that actually shows the livelihood and what Latinos were like in that period. So I dig what Paulie says. He's such a smart dude when it comes to that shit. And so I believe that is part of the reason that movie tanked, and also because fans of the original film didn't want to see it.
West Side Story or Sound of Music?
Now I know we went off topic there, but it was a good point to make, I think. But
West Side Story.
Okay, because I thought y'all were talking about Sound of Music. I mean, what the hell? Steven Spielberg redid Sound of Music? When was this?
Yes, he did. He totally did.
Breaking news.
Look, man. The problem is, Arwen, the problem is, Keith does cocaine before the show.
I do. I'm a hardcore cokehead.
I clocked it for a minute one, but I didn't want to say
that explains the outro.
It was really on the spot, though. But just the wrong
film. Right.
But he was still in the ballpark on it. And he's right. But, okay, we'll move on to this next one. We're moving from... Oh, wait. No. We're staying on DC. Yeah. All right, good. Here we go.
Yeah.
DC to publish one-shots about The Rock's Black Adam and Justice Society. Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah.
That's cool.
How many times can I say fuck? Anyway, go ahead. DC Comics is going to do this and will publish a series of one-shot showcasing The Rock's Black Adam and members of the Justice Society of America. In line with The Rock's upcoming film, Black Adam,
like that shit.
The comic series reintroduces the character. The first issue, Black Adam, the Justice Society Files, Hawkman, will have 48 pages. Kevin Scott is the writer and Scott Eaton the artist. In addition, the comic book will also have backup tale about the mysterious Adriana Tomaz, aka Isis, which I'm excited about because I just got goosebumps. I fucking loved that show as a kid.
Oh man.
I have all of them. I have all of the Shazam Isis Hour. I fucking love those shows as a kid.
I got
still love them.
Right there.
I bought them, and I will die before I lose those. They stay with me when I move. I shit you not. They're in my suitcase when I'm moving. I'm not going to risk them ever being destroyed in a fire or lost in storage. They're always with me. I'm very excited by this. In addition, the comic will have the backup tale for Isis. The creative team includes writer Brian Miller and artist Marco Santucci. Moreover, Black Adam, the Justice Society Files, Hawkman. God, that is a long title. It really is. It's almost as bad as Courtney's full name. If you guys don't know that, it's Courtney and the Oddball
Courtney's
something.
Name.
I love Courtney, but damn, she's got a long name.
I love her name too.
She's in the chat. Will be available in comic book stores on July 5th. Dude, I'm so going to buy this comic series. I haven't bought a comic in years. The movie will be in theaters this October. Actors in the movie are Pierce Brosnan, Noah Centineo, Contessa Swindle, and Aldous Hodge. They will portray characters Dr. Fate, Atom Smasher, Cyclone, and Hawkman, respectively. I'm stoked about this shit. I'm telling you right now. And of course, this was written by the amazing Joy Lynn. I love her articles. Don't get me wrong. I do pick on her husband, but he's getting there. He's getting there. Joy Lynn is absolutely one of the best writers they've got.
He's probably ghostwriting this for her. Who knows? But
he's probably ghostwriting.
What's cool about the timing? This was announced after the merger closed, kind of signaling this connectivity, right? This DC Studios where comics tied to films and projects, and got games they want to do as well too. So this is like a taste of what they want to do going forward, which I think is cool. Supporting the films with comics.
Well, thank God you think it's cool.
Yeah. now that settles it then.
Yes. No, it's cool, I think.
Right.
I'm teasing you, buddy. No, I'm very excited about this, dude. I can hardly wait to see The Rock in this role. Rock and roll. Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay.
I know it's a dad joke. I can't help it.
That was part of your
but we laughed, so.
Wow, yeah.
You laughed. You cackled at everything. You.
Shut up, Gary.
I am so recording your cackle just so I can play it.
My cackle is not a cackle. It's a giggle.
I'm here for the cackling. Yeah.
It's a giggle that cackles a bit. Anyway, let's start with 24/7 Fusion Media. Your thoughts on this and the comic book?
To be honest, it's a good idea as far as like a marketing thing.
Absolutely.
It's kind of like what they used to do back, a long time ago. Is they have a movie come out, they have a comic book tie-in kind of deal. They did it for
Blade Runner, Star Wars,
Indiana Jones,
Dracula had
Doctor Who,
Mignola.
Yeah, they had so many. Fucking Space Odyssey 2001. I mean, they have so much.
God, yeah, Jack Kirby.
Yeah, I mean, you had a lot of TV shows that even had. You had the 18 fucking comic book. At that time, you had a lot of fuck. So basically, it's kind of one of those old ideas of what they used to do, and I think from what I've remember, some of the last, and I could be wrong, but some of the last adaptations that I've seen that were comic book tie-ins that I remember folks actually purchasing was the Batman and the Batman Returns.
Oh yeah,
those comic books. Because they had comic books, they had sticker books, they had all kind of cards, and they had the game, they had all kind of fucking toys. The merchandising was pretty good. And if I remember right, the toys were made by Kenner. So, it's one of those old things that they don't really do that much. And if they do, it's nothing that's out there. Like it's like you don't know about it. Let's say if there was a comic book that was a tie-in to the James Gunn Suicide Squad movie, they didn't really say shit about it, but they're saying something about it now with this, with this Black Adam. So I mean, there might have been others that's not as highly publicized, but at least it's good to know that Black Adam's getting a comic book tie-in. Now, as far as but what happens if the movie's not good? So that's a whole other story right there.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Well, I will say that comics have a tendency sometimes to, when they're part of the marketing process for a film, give you a really good idea of what to expect. And we saw that with the bad Star Wars films too, with the recent Disney ones. They had those comics. Big Star Wars fans did not want to read it, but we saw within those, they were responding to showing answers to things they should have had in the film. But the fact is, like, some of the work I've gotten as a comic book guy was doing movie tie-in comics. In fact, that's at least half my career doing comics. And
Iron Sky.
The way I got that job was saying things like this, quote, "The cheapest way to promote your movie is word of mouth. The second cheapest way is do a comic book." And everybody looks at me and goes, "You're right." And then they hire me. And I'm like, "Yay, I got a job." And, but, it helps tell a story that promotes a film. I think it's a wonderful way of doing it. And I'm hoping that we learned something about what to expect with the movie. And I am buying this comic book. Totally buying it.
I think the whole way they're going to tie in the rest of the DC universe, aka
you think this is a move towards the putting the train back on the tracks per se?
I think this was the plan from The Rock the entire time. Having the Justice Society in there.
You don't think it's a coincidence that he and Cavill have the same agent?
It's a huge coincidence. Yeah,
just what are the odds?
And then to cast a James Bond in a DC film.
I know, Pierce. He's a bit of a woke idiot, but I fucking love him. I don't care.
Hey, I keep saying I fully expect that with a lot of this cast that Zack Snyder is going to have fun possibly using some of these people in a lot of his Justice League films.
And I also think that Zack is going to get paydays well beyond this, and the fact that I think that with the firings of some of these pieces of shit that are leaving, we're going to see a lot of the stuff that Zack creates continued throughout DC. And so therefore, he's going to get the deal that Hamada wished he had.
Or that JJ wished he had.
Yeah. If only JJ were as good of a filmmaker. Yeah. And as many problems as I have with Zack, I do know that his universe is better than anything we've had so far.
So well, he has a universe. He has a DC universe right now that Zaziff could use. No one else has that that's creating for DC.
Amen,
right
brother.
So
Amen.
Like, perfect timing.
Yeah. Well, that's Sil. And now, Arwen, your turn.
I agree with everything y'all have said. I think that's the way to go, and I don't understand why they haven't explored that before. If they're about making money in as many areas and corners as they can, here you go. It's just another one of those things where you're like, duh, why aren't you doing it? Why can't you see this?
Exactly.
So,
and it just shows again, because we're seeing the same thing at every studio. Paramount's got an intelligence problem. Warner has had an intelligence problem for a while. Disney is absolutely, I think they're devoid of anybody intelligent working over there right now. I don't think there's anybody at Disney that has an ounce of fucking intelligence. Paramount is almost in the same bucket, but they keep putting out some good stuff too, really good, solid stuff through Paramount. Yeah. And so somebody is over there doing their job, but there are a lot of people over there not doing their job. And it's not CBS. I don't believe for a second CBS is worth a shit.
They're kind of pushing out CBS really as far as branding.
Yeah, they want Paramount Television.
Across the road. Yeah.
You know, the only place where they fucked up was with Yellowstone, because with Paramount Plus we don't get to watch it there. We have to go over to the other network. I think they're on Peacock because of a contractual deal. It's similar to the contractual deal that they had with Star Trek, the original series, where it was made by CBS, but over on NBC. And it's stupid. You know, this is proof again of the stupid people in charge. The Joker movie is the final, nail in the coffin for Hamada, really.
Oh yeah, because they got next to nothing for $1 billion.
They got nothing for it, and all that fucking money. And I mean, it is one of
anybody
the most
else make that mistake, and you are out of a job. Like
should have been fired.
That.
Yeah. That should have been fired. Oh my
exactly. God. So here we go. Let's move on.
Insane.
We've got Zack Snyder teases Justice League theatrical release.
Yeah.
There's really not much here, and this one's by Edwin Francisco. I'm just going to read a little bit here. Zack Snyder seems to hint at a theatrical release, which he did in his Twitter account. And I don't doubt for a second with CEO David Zaslav in charge that we're going to see this. We are going to see it, but they're going to have to truncate this film. You cannot put that full-length film that he did onto the movie screen.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it's a theatrical cut, and Zack always had one. But the fact that he posted a picture on his Vero social media account showing film reels, like right after the merger closes.
There it is.
Yeah, it's like, Zack, come on now. Like, he's like, I'm in the archives. What are you in, WB archives, Zack? Like, what's going on here? It's coming, y'all. It's coming.
Here's the other thing, though.
By the way, I think this will be only 60 minutes right here.
This will be the first time that we're actually going to see Zack Snyder actually be able to cut his own movie. Because Batman v Superman, that was Warner Brothers. They did that to his movie.
Well, what's really nice is, what you're saying kind of takes me back to Ridley Scott in the 1992 release of the director's cut, which neither had the editor or Ridley involved. And finally, when he gets his director's cut, he didn't call it the director's cut. He called it the final cut of the film. And continue with what you're saying, Keith, because
I was just going to say, we're going to finally get a chance to see what it's like for one of these DC films to be edited by Zack Snyder. Having an
at least overseen, because I don't think he's a really good editor.
I mean, again, I don't think he's the best, but I would like to think that he would do a heck of a better job than what Warner Brothers has done to a lot of his films up to this point. When you look at Batman v Superman and Justice League, so I think I'm looking forward to seeing what his cut of Justice League is going to be like. I mean, if it actually still is good, still better than the 2017 release, then a lot more people are going to have to wipe more egg off their face for this one.
My goodness. Zaza is looking at, like, first off, the Snyder Cut, when it was a release, should have been in theaters. Like, that's just ridiculous to even think about this when the theaters kind of needed a boost in 2021. So I think Zaza was like, okay, we got this film. Let's try. And I think other older films, I think the Star Trek original is going to be in theaters really soon too. You put older films like this.
And by the way, I recorded my copy of the 4K so I can have something to watch until it comes out in September, so I can buy it.
I may have to get with you so I can.
I had to record it because I want to be able to watch it whenever I want to and not have to log onto the site. And use my internet. I want to watch it.
I think it's smart to put these older films in theaters to help revive.
Amen.
I agree. I think you should try to have as many of these films in theater as possible, especially with DC. I think they should do something really special, aside from just putting a theatrical version of Justice League. I think they should do a theatrical. Well, it probably is already theatrical cut of David Ayer's Suicide Squad. pair them both together. You know, I mean, Marvel got away with doing a whole Marvel
like a double feature. You mean like a double feature?
Almost, because Marvel did that whole marathon of all their films. I think if you could do Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, the actual cut by Snyder, and then David Ayer's Suicide Squad and Zack Snyder's Justice League, that'll give you really a better version of Snyder's vision and what he has going forward. That'd be great. All of those, that's only 4 movies. Man, Warner Brothers up to that.
Well, Warner Brothers had a really good one, just to throw it out there. Back in, I think in 2006, they had they did Around the Country, and they hit Kansas City. And I went there for their anniversary showing of all their movies, including watching a print of Blade Runner.
Ooh.
And which is the only reason really I went, was to see Blade Runner on the big screen again. And I love it when studios do that, when they send them out into the theaters. It's just, I don't know, there's something magical about that, getting to go see a classic movie on a clean print, a new print.
That's what Paramount should have done with the 4K version of Star Trek: The Motion Picture.
Amen.
I mean, if that film looks as good, and it is,
and on 70 millimeter too, it should have been released on 70. Because I saw that with the at the Cyberfest back in '97 for 2001: A Space Odyssey. We got to go to the Virginia Theater. I went there with what's his name, the movie critic that died. Fat guy, Ebert. I went with Roger Ebert to go see the 70 millimeter print of 2001: A Space Odyssey at the Virginia Theater in Champaign-Urbana. And it was amazing to see. It was like you were in it. It was, that 70 millimeter print almost felt like it was 3D. It was just so big and so clean and so clear. But I highly recommend it. 24, what do you got on this?
Damn, I'm just listening to the story like shit.
Well, if you're ready for me to move on, we can go on to the next one, because we're leaving DC finally. Whoa. Whoa is right. Daredevil's Vincent D'Onofrio post message about Disney Plus return. And of course, we're all excited about this, even though I don't give 2 shits about Echo as a character. I didn't fall in love with her character with the series like they wanted us to. I don't know why it's like they bet or they gamble too high on some of these shows. And the show was a bit of a failure. But I will watch it because I want to see D'Onofrio and Daredevil.
Yeah, I think it was more of them putting into development until they can get Daredevil and Kingpin back under the umbrella there. And now they committed to Echo. It's like, okay, we really want to see Daredevil instead or Kingpin. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like,
don't do it, Sil. Don't do it.
Don't do it. But here's Vincent's post. It's so wonderful to hear and see everyone experiencing Daredevil at Marvel on Disney Plus. There are so many new fans of that series now, and the original fans are still watching. Thanks to you all. Truly, I speak for Charlie Cox as well. It was a delight to make. And I think it's a wonderful thing to say. Yeah. And because it is part of the continuity of their story arc, I'm going to be watching it. I, for one. I don't know about you guys.
I will too.
Your thoughts?
I will too. I love that series. I love it.
Man.
I think they're going to fudge the continuity a little bit, but it's Disney, okay, Gary?
Well, because they're moving away from Netflix, but because they own the Netflix series now.
Right. I think they're going to go fast and loose with it. But no, I think we're going to get, after seeing Moon Knight, I don't think they're going to skimp around with Daredevil and King.
I hope that they're starting to try to right the ship, because I like Moon Knight so far.
Oh, it's the best they've done. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's no question I would like a more comic accurate stick. Anybody who's a fan of Frank Miller's Daredevil knows what I'm talking about. And as much as I love Scott Glenn, dude, he was not stick to me. Good performance, but he's not stick. 24, your thoughts?
Man, it just gave you it's like it's kind of like they threw in the Kingpin and Daredevil just so you can watch this fucking show.
That's exactly why we know that. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I can just listen to Sil tell me how good that shit is. I might be.
You might be convinced. The way I look at it is the exact same way that you would see crossovers in the comic series of characters who weren't doing well, that were new, that nobody was reading, and so they would do a crossover with a more popular character. And of course, that's what led to me quitting Marvel Comics, reading it, because of the Secret Wars, because they went a bridge too far with me on that. But I didn't mind it because every once in a while you would have that crossover that ended up not being too bad, as long as that character wasn't too stupid a character or badly written.
That's the challenge there. I mean,
because you got to have the right writers with Daredevil.
Yeah. So I guess to the equivalent of this MCU shit. With this crossover, it should make you want to quit watching the MCU run.
I got to tell you, some of it has. Some of it has. I was very disappointed with
Hawkeye,
Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I was disappointed with WandaVision. I was disappointed with
Hawkeye.
Yeah.
Hawkeye's coming back for shit.
I mean, they opened the trailer. And the minute I saw the opening of the new Thor trailer, all I could think of, wish you'd done that with Hawkeye. Because it shows Thor as a kid. I wanted to see the backstory to Hawkeye.
Yeah,
you make a show about Hawkeye and you don't give anything about him.
It wasn't about him.
Yeah. And I was just like, you guys completely screwed the pooch on that one. So as much as I enjoyed some of it, I thought the whole idea was dumb. And it irritated me. So yeah, those are badly done comics, in my opinion. If they were comic books and not shows, I would have given them a bad rating as a comic. Going, yeah, they didn't do it right. Let's hope that somebody is recognizing things. And so far, Moon Knight's really good.
Yeah,
I'm enjoying everything. Good writing, good dialogue, good characterization.
Good acting. My God, Oscar Isaac is like killing
he's okay.
every scene, man.
He's okay.
He's killing the character. You hater.
It's all right.
He needs a good script. I mean, after being Apocalypse.
Oh my God! Nobody could save that movie. Nobody. I felt terrible for every actor in that film, including the one that played Phoenix, because she's not really a very good actor.
Sophie Turner.
Yeah, Sophie Turner cannot act worth a shit. It's like, I swear to God, if somebody put a gun to her head and said, "Act your way out of the situation," we would have lost her years ago.
Oh no!
I would give her a pass.
Oh no!
I'm not saying I want harm to come to her. I'm just saying if someone had.
Yeah.
I would have said,
act your way out of this tied lap, this bag, burlap sack. Act your way out of it. And we'd never see her again. It would never happen. She couldn't do it.
It's not that bad, Gary.
But
her range is limited.
I agree.
Her range is limited to the fact that she should just not talk.
Just stick a little picture of her in the corner.
Enough range. We can work with it.
And she's not even that pretty. So.
Oh.
Everything's workable. Everything's very
I'm having so much fun with Keith right now. So anyway,
your jazz hands in a while. Come on,
jazz hands.
No,
I love you, Keith. I'm just messing with you. So now we move to the next one. So we see Star-Lord's new look in Thor: Love and Thunder. And before the show, 24 was telling me that the Chris Pratt haters are out there already just fucking campaigning against him. They got nothing better to do. Ignore them. They're like those assholes we knew in school. You just walked away from them and just ignore them. The problem is too many people give these people attention, and worse, they give them press. It's like, no, don't give them press. They are an extreme minority, not a minority, an extreme minority. It's like, I would say they make up less than 1% of everybody talking about films, 1% at best. So fuck those people. So Star-Lord has a new look, and the new look, of course, I'll go ahead and skip right to it. Who wrote this one, by the way? Joy Lynn wrote it. And this, of course, is the new look of Star-Lord. He's got the long coat. He's looking a lot more hairy in the facial area. A bit Indiana Jones, if you ask me. And I think he's going to be a little more heroic, I hope, and get away from so much of the silliness. But I saw the trailer, and
it's a Marvel movie. Gary.
It's a Marvel. It's going to get. Look, Taika Waititi likes the comedy.
Yeah,
that's it.
This is
He likes the comedy, and as much as I had problems with Ragnarok, yes, I laughed at it. I did thoroughly enjoy Chris in that movie, Hemsworth.
They play off each other pretty good, actually.
Yeah. He really showed off, and to have two guys that are both really good at improvisational comedy working together with Chris Pratt and Chris Hemsworth, it's going to be worth a laugh. I just hope that they treat things seriously. The problem I have is Thor is thousands of years old, and having him going on his quest of finding out who he is,
it's ridiculous.
That's your first 100 years of life, not
this
your
is a fucking joke.
4,000th year of life.
Just a story premise is a fucking joke. Okay, for this film, I would not watch this opening weekend. I'll probably watch it.
No, I always wait to the second week when the theater starts making money. Yeah, because we should always be up to supporting our local theaters.
No, I feel you on that. Yeah,
and that's why, by the way, if you don't know this, folks, when you buy any concessions at the theater, that is the money that helps the theater stay open. They hardly get anything from ticket sales. George Lucas pretty much overhauled the ticket sale program when he released the prequel trilogy, and he put a stranglehold on theaters, and so therefore they got nothing for any of the films. They got nothing from the Star Wars films. The only money they made from the Star Wars films was in concession sales, period. So take care of your local theater. Love them. If you want theaters to exist, buy concessions, no matter how insane that price is. Like, I paid $20 for a chili hot dog and chips.
What?
Yeah. That was at the theater downtown Springfield. What is that one, Keith?
That's the
college. It's the College
Station Theater.
Yeah, College Station. For everything I got with the chili and everything I had added to it, it was like $20, and I was like, "Do I get a midget to feed me?
Like a refill
with that price? Are you going to touch me someplace? I just don't understand."
Damn.
How $20?
You got to pay a little more, $20 for that game.
Like shit, where's the duct tape and the peanut butter?
Oh no! No.
But let's get into this because Sil and I think you and I are simpatico on this. That we have a problem with the fact that Taika Waititi wants to make everything a comedy instead of allowing the comedy to just happen naturally, like in Ghostbusters. He wants to turn it into gags, which really annoys me because I think he's a better writer than what he gives us.
You think so?
Yeah.
I think he's better than what he does.
He did a good Mandalorian episode, right?
Yeah.
He did better writing. Yeah. Okay.
But he's also being supervised by both of the showrunners. Yeah. So, when he's being supervised, he does a really good job. When they give him free reign, we get Ragnarok, which I had so many problems with that film because yes, it was
all over the place.
The Hulk movie, the that we always wanted.
Planet Hulk.
Yeah. It took all the beats from Planet Hulk, but left out the stuff we fucking wanted in it with the Hulk, and which was a mistake. But
a waste of a story. If you're gonna do Planet Hulk, any elements of it, that was such a waste of a film to shove.
Yeah,
that's just
go with it, Keith.
Upsets me all over again.
For me, the best part of that particular film was just all of the Jack Kirby references. I think Taika Waititi
there were a lot,
yeah, both visually and in other ways. I think Taika Waititi is a fun guy. I mean, he loves his comedy, but fun. I just Just
temper it.
He's here, and I need him here.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's too over the top. No, he really is. 24, your thoughts on that?
Man, oh shit.
Specifically, Taika Waititi and his handling of Thor.
Taika Waititi. I don't know. He's
I like hearing Arwen say that.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's like he's out there, man. You know, he's
he is.
You know, you got to understand. You know, he's banging his main actress and her friend that sings and shit. You know, I mean, he's doing all, and you know, he's showing it all in public. He don't give a fuck, man. He out there. I bet you he drinking, smoking, doing all kinds of, you know.
I forgot all about that.
Yeah, I bet you he's doing all kinds of shit. So, but see, the thing is, with the way he is, the way he projects himself, his lifestyle, and the whole shit, you can see it in his work. You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing. Yeah. We're basically looking at an extension of how fucked up he is, man. But we're looking at it. We're looking at it through a Marvel property.
Do you not also
instead of us getting real fucking Thor, like the way we got in fucking Thor #1 and a little bit of Thor #2, this motherfucker comes in, does his shit, and what are we getting? We getting, you know, he's riding on rainbows and all kind of wild shit. You know what I'm saying? It's like, who gives a fuck now? It's
24. I want to ask you though, don't you also feel that this is a shortcoming of Feige as well? That he has that interest in what TD is doing.
You know, to be honest, you know what it feels like for Feige. No shit is like he played the game long enough. He's like fucking Palpatine. He's like the fucking Emperor, man. He played the game long enough so where when he solidified his power, he was able to change it up and basically have his way at the end when everybody thought he was right.
That's really what it is. Keith has talked about that too.
You know, it's like shit, you know, because now it's what the MCU and all this other shit. It's like, come on, man.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, what kind? Like, yeah, he's made a lot of money and he's made some moves after he done took over after Favreau or whatever the fuck. I don't know, man. It's like, yeah, he was instrumental in some things.
Well, like the Emperor, there was betrayals, and he betrayed Favreau.
And you know, but see, this is one. But you got to understand, this is also an industry. It's not about what you've done. It's about what have you done lately.
Lately, right?
And lately, he's been a big fucking flop, man. None of his shit's been that good.
No matter, I mean, Spider-Man: No Way Home was almost a fluke, to be honest. Not something planned to be as successful as it was.
Right.
Yeah. So therefore, his entire Phase 4 is a complete failure. And I early on said, I hope he sure picks up and learns and fixes some things. But instead, pretty much the entirety of Phase 4 has been a dismal failure. And that is pretty much all on Kevin Feige. And I told Keith, I said, he could have 2 flops and 2 bad shows. But if it goes past that, he's in trouble.
I mean,
you know, you can forgive a lot when you're as successful as he is.
Man, then he got bullshit like fucking Miss Marvel, supposed to be like a fake ass Marvel version of what, Stargirl?
Nobody bought the comic.
You know what I'm saying? It's
so
like,
what do you want to make it into a movie series? It's going to be successful as a movie series or as a series on TV, but it didn't work as a comic. So, well to go. But I guess if there's a place to try to sell a girl show, it's on Disney, because Disney is a female-centric network, and they always were, even though they were about kids early on. And this is something Keith and I have spoken about ad nauseum, is that the reason why they bought Marvel and Star Wars was to get the boys. And what did they do? They converted it right over to girl stuff.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, why the fuck did you even bother?
With the help of Victoria Alonso, I think she's wanting to reposition this company as being something that's very much in favor of little girls, and having them grow up to become fans as adults
and feminists. You know, not the classic feminists, but the neo-feminists. which is a problem because it's not about equality anymore. But let's not get too far into this. We're going too far down the rabbit hole. So we've got a handful of things left here. Let's get through them. We've got Doctor Strange 2 will appeal to Evil Dead fans. This is by Joy Lynn. And fans of Sam Raimi's Evil Dead films will probably enjoy Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. On May 6th, we will all get to witness Raimi's first MCU film, official MCU film, even though he did do work for Marvel Studios. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, as Raimi is at the helm, audiences can expect it to be laden with horror elements. Let's hope so. The universe truly cracks wide open, allowing creatures to enter with all the horror and abilities they may have. I'm not a big fan of the last Evil Dead film. I mean, it wasn't bad. I enjoyed parts of it, but I felt that it became too female-centric instead of mixing. I felt Evil Dead 2 was the best of the original films in many ways.
What?
I loved Army of Darkness, but I think Evil Dead 2 was the better Evil Dead film. And
you didn't like the original, man?
I did enjoy it, but that wasn't the Ash that we got to know. Bruce wasn't really into form in the first film. And Sam, I know what Sam was going for. I've heard all the backstories because I know a few of these guys. And I get what he was going for, but he did a better job with a lot of it when he did Evil Dead 2. And Evil Dead 2 is basically just a remake, but with less characters of Evil Dead. And that's why it's not really a sequel. And even in Army of Darkness is a bit of a remake at the beginning of that film, because he just kept remaking the events of the cabin and then would extend the story further. And but Army of Darkness, still, I love that film. Great action adventure. It's less horror. Whereas Evil Dead 2 just stands out to me. But Ultra Rob, who Keith knows, once challenged me. He says, sit and watch the original Evil Dead in the dark alone and tell me how you feel. And I'm like, yeah, it's fucking creepy. It creeps you out. Even the weird animation. But I do want to see Sam Raimi pull some of those elements in here. I love his take on horror. I really do. From the beginning, I've been a Raimi fan. So, and of course, we know Bruce Campbell's making an appearance in the film. Eventually, one day, he's going to cave in and jump on one of our shows and let us interview him.
I was so fangirl if he did. Oh God, I love Bruce Campbell.
Yeah, he's
very much.
He's a snarky dude. He's very snarky. But I don't know. There's not much to say about this other than the fact that, I mean, are we all looking forward to seeing a horror film in the MCU?
Yeah.
I would love to see.
If it's Raimi, definitely. Because I'm not a big horror fan, but I love Raimi's
He says
work.
no.
Really
He says no. No.
Yeah, actually,
Keith's faking it. He wants to see it.
Yeah, I'm about to say, yeah.
This is disappointing me.
No, but to be honest, just to see Sam Raimi muck it up, I just wonder what kind of restraints they had on him. And that's my whole thing. I've heard that they've actually made him do a bunch of reshoots, and they wanted it more of a Marvel style.
I don't believe for a second are things that he did. I believe that the reshoots were over the fact that they're always in a state of flux at Marvel. And as soon as Spider-Man No Way Home came out, and all the elements that are going into other projects,
right, they
had to reconnect them because, like the guy said, Russo brother Joe Russo said, he says there's not really a plan. There is a plan, but it's not solid. And so therefore, when one impacts another, you'll see reshoots. Keith and I were just talking about this 3 weeks ago on TGIF, that the reshoots that we're seeing are less about the director and more about shit going on within the MCU.
Yeah.
Right.
And so I think Sam Raimi's got a good handle on this, but our worry has been with the reshoots, are they going to match up with what he's trying to do within his film? We'll find out when it comes out. And they do want to have another No Way Home. They want a blockbuster with this film. That's another reason why they wanted to do additional stuff to add into the film. Because the reshoots aren't reshooting scenes because they didn't work. They're reshooting scenes to add stuff to it. And I guarantee you that's what it's all about.
Yeah. Again, nowadays it's much easier to do that. Technology has gotten to the point where it is easier to do as little as possible. You know, I'm looking forward. Look, we're all looking forward to it. Okay, let's just put it like that. We're all just looking forward to it.
I think so. But this also goes hand in hand with what we're just talking about. I don't think this is something new. I think this is something that may have been added. With Doctor Strange 2, Spot suggests that Scarlet Witch kills Professor X, which did happen, as I recall, in the comic books, didn't it? Didn't she kill Professor X?
I think so.
So who wrote this? Joy Lynn.
I know.
A new Doctor
got killed in the comics.
Okay, maybe he didn't. A new Doctor Strange in the multi. I just feel like I remember that for some reason. The new TV spot suggests that Scarlet Witch kills Professor X, but does she? The footage showed one very scary Scarlet Witch Olsen walking away from the burning corridor. Wanda Maximoff is barefoot and seemingly covered in blood. It's quite reminiscent of Stephen King's Carrie. Just as vengeful as the horror prom queen, the Scarlet Witch seems to have no mercy towards anyone. No, she did, because she got rid of all of the X-Men. Remember that? I remember that.
Yes, she did.
Yes. And so here we see his helmet. That's Xavier's helmet. And
Wow.
that's looks like a head in it with shit hanging out, like spinal cord. It could be something else. I could be wrong, but that's gore on the ground below it. So was that an Ultron head she obliterated? Certainly, it's possibly one of the android sentries that escorted Doctor Strange or Professor X's Illuminati. But take a look again. That's right. That's exactly what it looks like.
Wow.
It looks like the helmet from Cerebro. I know it's a lot of guessing, and this is a rumor. Take it with a grain of salt. But I think that is very interesting, and I look forward to seeing this fucking movie. That's a fact.
It's gonna be so much fun.
Me too. Yeah.
But I don't know, man. Now we'll move on to a better story, I think, for all of us. Something I know 24 wants to talk about, which is Spider-Man. Sony wants Marvel Studios to produce Andrew Garfield's Amazing Spider-Man 3. I know Arwen doesn't give a shit. But you know what?
Say a word.
Fuck you, Arwen.
I didn't say I didn't give a shit. I'm just not a big Garfield fan, that's all. But yay.
Yay. This one is by some dude that we know called Sly Edible. Sly Edible.
That's my
Sly Edible.
viral article. Oh man, I didn't recognize it.
Oh yeah, shut up.
Oh man, let me pay attention now.
All right.
Wake up, Phil, wake up.
So I'm going to read Sly's words.
That's some amazing words here.
Sony seeks Marvel Studios assistance to make Andrew Garfield's The Amazing Spider-Man 3. Sources claim Sony will complete Andrew Garfield's The Amazing Spider-Man 3. In fact, on March 29th, Geekosity revealed that Venom, Tom Hardy, will be its villain. Well, sort of. After all, Venom is an anti-hero in Sony's Spider-Verse. Perhaps a misunderstanding leads them to fight, which of course I'm hoping it'll be. And then they end up teaming up at the end. The real foe could be another symbiote. I hope.
Yeah.
Or any other good fucking badass villain. Since Spider-Man No Way Home, droves of Andrew Garfield fans have been campaigning and clamoring for more Amazing Spider-Man. I checked the list. Arwen was not included. However, after the critical and commercial failure of Morbius, many worry. Oh, I get it. How you're phrasing it. Okay, many worry. They're worried that it might, suck. You're actually using when I used to write, you're using the same style that I used when I wrote, which is conversational English, rather than literature English. Yeah, I think it's good. No, I think it's good. I like that. It's the way I wrote when I wrote columns. My editors always enjoyed that because people liked reading my stuff too, because I was writing the way I would speak.
This is how I actually say it, like live.
Yeah. So they're worried that it might, suck. Yeah, I couldn't imagine you saying that, Sal. Because you seem to be such a shill. Needless to say, hardcore Spider-Man fans don't have much faith in Sony without Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige. But we all know that Kevin Feige is involved with these films. They always seek his advice in these films. And I think they fucked up and didn't listen to his advice with Morbius. Somebody fucked up. Without a doubt, it was Marvel Studios that elevated Tom Holland's initial Spider-Man trilogy. Don't forget that Marvel Studios made those films. Sony just distributed them. On their own, Sony delivered Morbius. Reviews are bad. Once again, he was an advisor on that film, Kevin Feige. His name is involved with the opening titles. But I just don't think they listened to him. And that's why the movie kind of tanked it. But even Andre and I enjoyed the film. We talked about it. It's like, I enjoyed the film. It's not great, but it was good. Not great. Good.
It was entertaining.
Yeah. I was entertained. And but the reviews were bad, but I trust the reviews of fans, and they were the ones that I agree with you. There was a lot of negative response to Morbius from fans.
Yeah. Yep.
After opening weekend, seats emptied. Many complained that the living vampire, sucked. Oh, come on. Fuck you, Sil, for that joke. A vampire sucked. Hey, wow.
Get it.
Hold on. I got to do this real quick. I'll fix it later in post.
Wow. Wow. Wowie, wow.
Vampire sucked.
What was that?
That was Chris Walker from SNL.
Oh, okay. I was wondering what. All right.
Yeah. Now, while Morbius has its supporters, the box office revealed how audiences felt in general. Yeah, it didn't do well. On our YouTube show, Scoop Center. Wow. 5 p.m. Pacific time on Saturdays. Geekosity founder Mikey Sutton relayed the message that it's happening regarding The Amazing Spider-Man 3. Yeah, and I have no doubts. I believe in Mikey Sutton. Andrew Garfield will return, but Sony hopes Feige will too. Without Feige directly involved in the production, not just advising, he really needs to be directly involved with these films. Despite my criticism and all of our criticism of him shitting the bed with Phase 4, his involvement with Sony has put out a lot of really good stuff. Despite Morbius and the two Venom films. I enjoyed the two. I only watched the first one. I've never watched the second one. Wasn't interested. I don't know if it's any good or not. But I did enjoy the first one. I just hated the effects. I thought it was distracting, almost as bad as Spawn back in, what was that, 2000? 99. I hated the effects in that. Sony and Disney have a tight new deal for Holland's next Spider-Man movies. Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man is a separate matter. I think that if they play it smart, they're going to let Marvel work with them directly on this. So in Spider-Man No Way Home, Andrew Garfield openly lamented that he's never fought an alien. I thought that was thrown in on purpose. Like his other counterparts, this only could have been enough to speculate, but then at the end of the movie, they had the moment with with Venom. And I'm like, that is clearly letting us know that they want to go that direction because that's the alien he needs to fight. We know Sony wants Miles Morales in a live action, so that I don't know about that one. I'm so iffy right now. I think that if you pile on too quickly, they could screw it up. Right, Keith?
Yeah.
So that line from Fox definitely teased this in advance regarding Andrew Garfield. His foreshadowing line regarding a potential alien has some traction as well. I agree, but I also disagree. So that's a good article, man. Good job, Sil.
Oh, I appreciate that. I forgot that was mine as you was reading it.
You're such a.
I was just lost in the words.
I wrote that?
Oh my God.
No way.
Good.
That's our last story. So let's wrap up on this because would you agree all of us are looking forward to Andrew Garfield coming back except for Arwen?
Oh,
except
yeah. I love Andrew Garfield. I love the Spider-Man.
Now, there's going to be more Toby too, Arwen. Just keep that in mind.
Okay, shit. I got to clear my name. Hang on now. Y'all back up. All right. In No Way Home, he did redeem himself in my book. Okay? He was not as bad. I'm sorry. I hated the single movies he was in. But I did not mind him in No Way Home. So I will watch this movie. I will watch it, and I will let y'all know what I think.
That's what's up.
There's going to be more Toby, Arwen. You don't have to watch it.
Yeah, Keith, you got some final thoughts on this? With
you know what? Here's my thing with Andrew Garfield. Even though the whole Sony situation didn't do him and his career that much good.
Nope.
I think in the end, he has built up such a fan base. There is a nice contingent of people who just love this guy. I like this guy. I would love to see him do more than just a third movie, but I'll take it if that's all we're getting. I just think that he is a very, very talented young man, and I could easily see him make a DC movie, but that's just me, so.
Yeah, he's got a new series coming out.
Say what?
No, go ahead, 24.
No, I was going to say, who would you pick him to play in DC?
You know what? Andrew Garfield would make a very good OG Aqualad.
You think so?
Yeah. He's got a swimmer's body already.
Okay.
I mean, if I had to pick something else, I'd go with I'd say he'd make a very good Cosmic Boy. Legion of Superheroes.
Legion of Superheroes. All right, I got you. All right.
Yeah. Now, before we go, I wanted to point that out. What I just brought up is this is his new series, Under the Banner of Heaven. I love the trailer for it. I'll play it after the show. I won't do it during the show because I'm tired of them claiming against us. They're advertisements. That is all a trailer is. And that you get claimed for showing an advertisement is the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard of.
I agree.
So I had to pull it from our last video, our trailer for Netflix, because they put a claim against our show.
Wow.
So, but I love the premise. A devout detective's faith is tested as he investigates a brutal murder seemingly connected to an esteemed Utah family's spiral into LDS fundamentalism and their distrust of the government. So I'm intrigued. It's a murder mystery. And I do love those. I do. I admit it. I freely admit it. I like a good murder mystery.
I do too.
Let's wrap this up, guys. Anything we want to add to the end of this before we get into 24/7 Fusion's comic of the week? Nothing? All right, then shut the hell up and let our friend 24 have the stage. 24/7, it's your stage, my friend.
Thank you, man. For my recommended comic book for the week would have to be Web of Spider-Man issue number 1.
Nice.
And the reason why I picked this comic is this takes place after Peter Parker and the symbiote finally separate with the help of Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic. And this comic book takes place when the symbiote tries to reattach itself to Spider-Man, and this is his fight with the symbiote trying to reattach himself with Spider-Man, and at the same time, it kicks off Web of Spider-Man issue number 1. So like, this one's signed by Stan Lee.
Yeah, I was assuming that's why he had 2 copies, because that one's signed by the man himself. Yeah,
this is one's from the comic book store, and the other one's from regular corner store.
Gotcha.
That's probably like an untouchable issue.
Yeah, man, they're both in they're both pretty mint condition, man. So you can tell no cracks, no creases. There's nobody's beat up comic book. So yeah. But you guys check it out. If you guys are fans of Spider-Man, after they separate, for the first time, this is them fighting each other because the symbiote's trying to reattach himself to Peter Parker, and the whole issue is Peter Parker trying to fight off the symbiote all the way through the whole issue. So yeah, you guys should check it out. It's a very good issue. It'll probably cost you a few dollars, but it's worth it if you're a collector. And I'd advise you scoop it up.
Amen. Thanks a lot for
That's awesome. That's awesome.
I'm actually going to go look on eBay right after the show. But I want to thank everybody here, my fellow hosts of the show, Arwen, Sil, 24/7 Fusion, and of course my partner in crime, Keith. This is a great show. I enjoyed the episode. We always have a fun show.
Yeah.
So at least for us, I don't know if anybody else will enjoy it.
We do.
We have fun. That's all that matters.
As long as we like it.
But look forward to seeing you guys in the chat and on Thursday. So everybody, as the master himself used to say,
Excelsior!
Hey guys, thanks for watching Pop Culture Minefield. If you've enjoyed the show, please make sure to like, subscribe, and don't forget to click the bell icon for updates on our shows and channel. Also, please leave a comment, and we'd like to know what you thought of the episode, as well as letting us know if there's something you'd like us to cover in a future episode. Don't forget that you can become a member of Pop Culture Minefield now. Make sure to visit our membership page and merch store at popcultureminefield.com. You can always find Pop Culture Minefield on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitch.
Thank you.